Well, here we are back again. I mentioned yesterday that we'd be doing the etching this morning in the last video. First of all, we really should run over the whole structure with this Eco Clean. It's basically a degreaser. We've got basically a new build. So we're looking at either 1 to 30 or 1 to 60 mixed with water. So I've already used this system on quite a few of the other components, and this is the only bottle I have. I've used virtually nothing. So I just put it in this spray bottle and mix it with my rainwater. I don't like using tap water. You don't know what comes out of the tap, but rainwater I can measure that, and it's pretty clean. Because it's in a spray bottle, there will be a mist. I'm not particularly keen on breathing there we go. The museum's flying their Canberra today. I'm not really keen on breathing the mist from a degreaser, so I will be using a face mask, and I will be using gloves as well. Now, as you saw yesterday, the wing is already clean. We cleaned it with wash-up detergent, which is got the bulk of the dirt and the oils and greases and so on off anyway. All I'm really using the Eco Clean for is to get rid of any residual detergent. So I've just got a damp cloth with rainwater in it. And I'll just wipe that off. It's reasonably dirty. Those first generation jet engines are quite noisy, aren't they? Actually, it's probably second generation. Well, that's about all it takes as far as the cleaning goes. The etching is really no more difficult than that. The only difference is you leave the etch on the surface for a few minutes. You don't try and wipe it straight off. It has to. It's an acid, and it actually has to eat into the surface. But we'll wait for this to dry, and then we'll do the etch we'll do that this morning as well. But as far as the Eco Clean is concerned, that's all you need to do. Now, we could have done that instead of using the washing detergent yesterday. I could have used the Eco Clean. It would have taken me quite a bit longer, and it would have been more difficult to do. I think this doing what I did yesterday with the wash-up detergent actually made this a lot quicker this morning, and yeah, it was no trauma to do yesterday, and this is no trauma to do either. It was straightforward. We're pretty much ready to do the acid etching now. This is the product that Stewart Systems supply or recommend. This is obviously an acid. It's concentrated, so it needs to be mixed. For etching, it needs to be mixed about two parts of water to 1 part of this. It's fairly economical. It goes a fair way. This bottle's meant to do 400 square feet, so that's quite a bit. So yeah, 2 things. 1, it's got to be diluted, and 2, it needs to sit on the surface for about 1 to 3 minutes, it says, and it shouldn't dry out. It shouldn't be allowed to dry. So if you're using it, if it was a sunny day and you're using it in bright sunshine, what you do is you make your area you're doing much smaller. In any case, it shouldn't be a big area. I think on a day like today, which it's a bit cool today. Australia's a weird place. It's meant to be 40 degrees tomorrow, but today it's lucky to be 25. Yeah, I think about the size of the fuel tank would be about right. That's what I'm going to do, and then rinse it off. Leave it for the 2 or 3 minutes and then rinse it off. Let's just see how we go with that. I'm not gonna wear this while I'm doing it. You'll just have to see what I'm doing, and I'll try and aim the camera towards where I'm working. If anything, this I really need to get the safety equipment on for this one. I'm not going to be breathing acid vapours. That's not going to happen. Ideally, I really should have long pants and long sleeves as well, but there's a fair bit of breeze, and I'm going to be upwind. I will put the respirator on, and which is just an organic vapour respirator. It's nothing startling, and I will put my gloves on as well. Well, that worked fairly well. I could have actually covered a bit bigger area, I think, without the etch drying. So I think what I'll do is I'll do that entire top part of the leading edge and the top part of those ribs on the next. I'll let this dry off now because I don't want it. But yeah, that went fairly easy. It went a bit easier than I actually expected. So yeah, we'll let it dry off and come back in a couple of minutes, and I'll knock over the rest of it, and then turn the wing over and do the other side. But it's looking pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I've washed. This is the underside of the wing. I've acid etched the fuel tank, the bottom of the fuel tank, and the bottom of the leading edge all the way along. So in a few minutes, when the the water the water dries off, because there's water laying on the ribs and things, I'll do the ribs and the rear spar, and probably the far end of that end rib, and that'll be it. Wash that off and let it dry, and it's ready for primer anyway. I'll continue washing while it's in this vertical position now, and hopefully we'll get into different nooks and crannies where I couldn't get before when it was horizontal. But yeah, the name of the game now is to just keep on washing and washing and washing and make sure all that acid is gone. Now, at the end of the day, the acid's quite dilute anyway, and it's already done its thing. It's already etched the surface, so it loses strength when it does that. It certainly isn't enough to kill the grass. I did the last wing in exactly the same place, and the grass is as happy as can be. So it's not super duper strong, but I still don't want to be breathing it anyway. Okay, it's been about 5 or 6 hours, I suppose, since I washed it. So it's well and truly dry. We've had pretty warm sun. Yeah, it's dried up pretty well. The first thing I'll do is give it a wipe down with some alcohol, just to make sure that it's perfectly clean before I start spraying. I'll mask a few things up first. Alrighty, I've washed all the bits down that are going to be painted, or that are going to be deliberately painted anyway. The paint I'll be using is this one. It's called Eco Prime. This is in white colour. It comes in various colours. Because I'm painting the aeroplane a light colour, you really need to prime it with a white primer. Now, with what I'm doing now, priming so that it provides a adhesion for the fabric, it really doesn't matter what colour it is, obviously. But eventually, I'll have to prime with this prior to putting the actual colour on. So there's quite a few more steps to go in this process yet. So I'll go and mix this up. It says that you can use it directly out of the can, but if you want to, you can thin it down 10% with water. I think I did thin it down last time, but I think I would have been better off if I had not thinned it down. So I'm going to try this time without thinning it. But you'll see anyway. Okay, here we are the next day sort of thing. The paint's all dry. Looks pretty reasonable, feels pretty good. All the places that are white is where the fabric's going to be eventually glued to. So yeah, looks pretty good. Leading edge is good as well. So this can go inside the hanger now, and I'll start with covering what you can see here, the underside, the bottom of the upper wing. So there you go. We're moving forward slowly.